All right, what's up, everybody? And Juice is loose here with trying to get our earlier start time nailed in here. It's a bit of adjustment because it's about half hour versus the normal. So we're going to try to start these earlier and end them in about 2 hours. So remind me when 8:30 comes around Eastern time. If we're still rambling on, just remind me to. Yeah, it's time to shut her down soon. So
we probably will be rambling long.
yeah, we don't have Shadow on here, so he tends to drag out things and sidetrack us. So and Retro's not here with his terrible opinions, so we should be all right. Let's give Clocked It some. I'm gonna throw this out here. Clocked It kept trying to get words in last week and kept getting shut down and talked over. So. I don't know if it's just because you're so quiet because it's late and you're trying to not wake the wife and stuff, but
no, I mean I could talk at a decent volume. This is okay, isn't it?
Yeah, but you definitely shut down pretty quick when when you don't fight for your time.
Too much manliness.
Welcome to Gladiator.
So
yeah, like a gladiatorial arena.
We'll see if when T joins us. I know this is, like I said, we're still adjusting to this earlier start time, but appreciate everybody for tuning in already. Again, this doesn't tell me, how many people are viewing on the Hangouts page. So I'm gonna have to look at the actual YouTube page, I guess now. And Hangouts is getting shut down in April, I heard. So we're gonna have to.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
God, it's the end of an era, yo.
I don't know if YouTube is gonna try to put something in place because they still have the live thing. But if that, we'll have to use Discord and OBS, and we won't have our icons and stuff. It's not gonna be as nice.
Oh man,
life make like a layout or something.
Yeah, but it still won't activate when someone's talking. So it's gonna be interesting. I think maybe on a weekend or something we'll do a test run before. We won't just like try it for the first time on a Monday, but we're gonna have to do something a little different moving forward. But yeah, so I just saw something interesting, and Retro ain't here. I know he didn't buy Anthem, but it's a weird story because something to do with Anthem is bricking people's PS4s. And for some reason, Sony's refunding their system. Like, why would that be Sony? What, like, EA's game is the reason it bricked. I don't know why Sony's the one covering that cost 100%. So
it sounds like it's just another reason why EA ain't shit. But I don't understand why Sony feels the need to replace the console.
Let me here's one article. Let's see.
Wait, what? Yeah, can you link it? I haven't heard this.
I don't know if this one has all the info. I've seen a few different things.
I'm looking it up now while you guys are talking about it.
So a number of Anthem players on PS4 reporting the game crashes are not merely sending them out of their current session, but sometimes closing the game to the PS4 main menu or shutting off the console entirely. And I guess that's what can damage the system, shutting it down hard shut without properly being shut down, which happens with power outages too. It didn't let me send the link in the...
Yeah, it's forcing the game to turn off randomly while playing, particularly during matchmaking.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've tried to send the link in the live chat, and it's not letting me. But
looking for sympathy.
Let's see. I swear I did see where people had their PS4 refunded, but this article doesn't have it.
I guess they're just refunding the game.
Why would Sony? Why would they have to issue refund for the game though?
I guess if they bought it through their store.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's the only thing I can think of. And apparently EA has not given comment, which isn't really surprising.
Oh my god, this is crazy. What the hell is this?
And it's like
I can't even think of a... Has this ever happened before with any other game?
Where it causes the console to shut down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of stuff.
On consoles now.
Well, no,
I mean, we've had games crash, but not anything that shuts off the console.
I've had to pull the plug on my Wii U, though, because there was no other solution at the time till they updated the system.
But that wasn't...
But I had to pull the plug while it was on.
I mean, was that because of a game not
running?
That
was a game froze. It got the little screen.
Oh, that always freaks me out, yeah.
Yeah, that sucked. Especially when you had your speakers up loud, and it's like...
Oh,
That shit was crazy. But yeah, it's just like after Mass Effect Andromeda launched all fucking shitty, and now this game, it's like I know it got delayed, but then now they pushed it out, and it still doesn't seem to be where it needs to be. And then EA was the development team's like, we're just getting started with Anthem. Like in their minds, they're making people, hey, there's more content coming, don't worry. But when I hear that, like the game's out, why are you just now getting started? It's
ridiculous.
That's just poor wording, if you ask me.
And apparently the demo was doing similar things from what I just looked up. So it wasn't just the main game. The demo for Anthem was bricking people's consoles. Or at least yeah. There was a bunch of bugs in the demo. Apparently there was also a bug in the demo that allowed you to skip the final grind of the game and beat the final boss and get high level gear without actually having the level grind. The game is fucking broken, is what it is. At least from what my understanding is so far.
Yeah, no, I know. You know, it's ridiculous, and I think unfair to expect a major game to not have any bugs or something. That I mean, even Breath of the Wild had glitches and shit they had to fix. You know, that's just par for a
modern gaming.
Like but when it's to that extent, bricking systems and force shutting down, to me, that's you don't release the game type stuff.
Oh, do you know what? Dominic's one in the chat. He mentioned Need for Speed Most Wanted U. Now, I bought that game, and yeah, he's right. I remember that game used to crash. They never fixed it either.
No, it was
never fixed it.
That game never got patches.
Black Ops 2 made it freeze.
Trash
EA games. A couple others, but yeah. So I mean, sucks for anyone that has Anthem, because if it was me, I wouldn't be.
I feel the sympathy in your voice. I
really wouldn't be. I wouldn't even risk playing the game right now. Like,
yeah,
that's some bull. And, you know, I bought Trials Rising, and I love the game, but it's got the worst screen tearing I've ever seen in my life in a game. It's so distracting. I guess it's even on the X version. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not just base model Xbox problem that I thought it was. So
that's weird.
Welcome to modern AAA game.
Yeah. Well, that's a single A type game, that one. But
no, I was talking about Anthem.
Anthem. That's you got to delay the game. You should not release it with such a major flaw.
I bet they knew about this as well.
They had to.
Oh, hells yeah. Well, they apparently the game is also like it's not even that fleshed out, that a lot of the cosmetics and stuff, that apparently there's only like 4 in the whole game. It's so bizarre. Like there's not even a lot to do, like in terms of and well, you know, it's a whole loot kind of shooter, and there's not even a lot of good loot apparently. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They would run the numbers. They would run the numbers through all the tests and everything, and they would go, okay, yeah, you know, 3 out of 10. Crash. You know, we'll work on that. You know, it's only 100,000 PS4s. You know, compared to the 90 million. You know, we could deal with that. And they just release it.
Yeah. So moving on, Nintendo just tweeted about Astral Chain today, and it says just a little bit of info and then a cool little 4-second clip. But work with your living weapon, the Legion, to pin down enemies and deliver devastating damage. So it's a really cool little sequence that I think was in the reveal trailer.
Yeah.
But that game looks I love that art style. It looks really clean.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
But
damn good.
That's I mean, August, it's like a solid date too. Like there's
I know.
You don't
that blows
my mind. That early in
crazy.
Advance, you get that solid of a date,
but especially when it's a game that you literally just heard about.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit, August.
I'm glad we're back to the whole. Oh yeah, by the way, here's the new game we've never shown before. Oh, it comes out later this year. The fuck?
With Mario Maker, where they said June. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Watch that shit come out on E3 and just fuck everybody's life.
I think it's gonna come out like the week of E3 or the Friday after.
Like Arms,
E3.
didn't Arms do that? It
Mhm.
was
Yeah, Arms came out June 16th.
Oh yeah, I remember because I got it early.
I can't.
Don't you love that shit though, man? You know, you don't know anything about the game, and then it just launches. No, it just turns up. It looks fucking amazing, like Mario Maker, like Astral Chain. Never heard of them. They come out, and then next thing you know, they're like out in a few months' time. You're just like, holy fucking shit! It's just why can't it be like this all the time? You know?
Well, I mean, they did that last year with Unravel 2 was like that, where Unravel 2 was announced and released the same day.
Yeah,
that's nice.
I mean, I think same day is a bit too early. Maybe with
yeah.
with
I don't want the game as soon as you talk about it.
I talked about
fuck that shit.
Build it up a little bit of hype. Letting people know.
Give me a few weeks, goddamn it.
Yeah.
Like if for some reason they said Animal Crossing releases today, I'd be like, what the fuck? What do you mean? It'd be confusing. I'd love
Robert, you said that, but you would totally get that shit.
No, I would. Yeah, but what if you didn't have money at that same second? It would be hell.
Oh, yeah, I already saw this, Juice.
Yeah, and I linked in the live chat. There's a cosplayer who made like the best Samus suit I've ever seen in my life. Like,
oh, is that the one with the gun arm extends as well?
The gun arm, yeah. And then if you look at different shots, like it's perfect. I mean, it's amazing. It's like you got to have a lot of time on your hands, and
no, we call that dedication,
and
right?
some skill. Obviously, skill. It's lit up, and you just have to be willing to spend whatever it takes to make something like that. But it's fucking awesome.
This is why I respect cosplay grind.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, she's. I looked at some of her other stuff. She's done some good work, but this is definitely the only thing I'd say is maybe the shoulders proportions aren't quite right, but it's hard to argue.
Juice would be that dude, be like, "How does it look?" It's like a 90%.
Better from the back, that's for sure.
I knew it was coming. I knew you were gonna say something about it.
It'd be like his girlfriend or something. She goes, hi, Juice. I've spent a whole year on this. What do you think? Shoulders could be a bit bigger.
That'd be the first thing out of his fucking mouth, like an asshole. The rest of it's fine though.
It's all glowing and everything. And gun's like firing plasma. It's just like, shoulders still need some work.
Fucking garbage.
Yeah, so I don't know if T is gonna join us or not.
I mean, he's probably suffering an aneurysm from his rant video last night.
Yeah.
I'm drinking some more Kool-Aid.
Fucking
like, we didn't really talk about we talked a little bit about the Resident Evil games. And it's like, what are they, $30 a piece?
I think so.
And if
I
you buy
thought it was 20 a piece or some shit.
No,
no.
I think they're like 20 on the other consoles. I think they're 30 on.
Yeah, they're 30 on the Switch, but if you buy the physical, it only comes with one of the games on the cart.
Yeah, only one of them's on the cart.
That's just like, they can't be that big of files. Like they're the GameCube.
While you guys are talking, I'm gonna look up to see what the sizes were.
GameCube had 2 discs, so it was maximum 2 gigs for the remake. But I guess in HD, but with compression these days,
yeah, exactly.
There's no way they couldn't get all those games
okay
on an 8 gig cart or 4 gig cart.
The file sizes are Resident Evil. I guess it's just the first one. Resident Evil is 14.4 gigs.
Jesus.
Resident Evil 0 is 13.5 gigs.
What?
And Resident Evil 4 is 12 gigs.
I'm surprised because, and maybe that means like there isn't going to be a big sacrifice to audio and stuff, because that's one of the things I was complaining about with the Trials Rising open beta is the audio drop off going from Xbox to Switch was significant. So I'm not opposed to that. And at least they are that size, but that just if they were like 2-3 gigs a piece and they're not on one cart, I'd guess I'd be more upset. If they're that size, and I guess I can understand. But
I'm looking to see which one was supposed to be on the physical cart.
I just don't care about I just don't care about these old Resident Evil games anymore.
0 and 1 is together on the physical option.
But I can't lie. After playing 2 and loving it so much.
1 is just the download code. 0 is the only one on the cartridge.
And 4. Is
four is just download only.
Oh.
I don't know who. I mean, why do this? You know, just
release
bizarre.
3 physical games with cartridges and charge $35 a piece or something. Don't make a collection because you got to have an SD card to.
Well, it seems like only 0 and 1 is the collection. 4 is like by itself.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's dumb.
Because it's called the Resident Evil Origins.
They did that with
bundle.
Revelations. So 1 was on the cartridge and 2 was almost a 20-something gig download.
Does anyone know how that sold? Did it sell well? I guess
someone gave me a code.
I think I'm gonna go look while you guys are talking and see.
Someone gave me a code for Revelations 2. I started it and I was like, I really like this. I'm gonna play Revelations 1 first, and I got so fed up with that dated ass you could tell it was a 3DS game. It felt so.
Yeah, there are certain games you can just make it real obvious and shit.
But I was enjoying Revelations 2, but I kind of moved on, was playing other things, and I need to re-download that and check it out because I really enjoyed, as much as I enjoyed Resident Evil 2.
The collection on Switch only sold a little bit over almost 300,000. It's at like 0.27 million, quote unquote.
Well, that collection's $60 and it just has the 2 games.
You're talking about Resident Evil Revelation? Oh no, you're talking about Origins. Yeah, it's only 0 and 1. So
put 2 carts in there for $60.
0's on the cart and 1 is the download code.
Jesus Christ!
And then 4 is just. And then 4 is just no. I think. What is the price of the collection? Let me see. Of those two,
I thought it was $60. That's why I thought that was the big outrage. Because if it's $60, it's some fishy shit going on. it's kind of weird.
Best Buy.
Let me look. Jizz might beat me.
That's, to be honest, that doesn't make any sense at all. If it's two games, they're not even like. But then 60, it's like, come on.
That's the Revelations collection. That was 30. They don't have. Best Buy doesn't have.
I was gonna look on the eShop, and then I found out the eShop was down because they're doing maintenance, which is fucking garbage.
I don't have it, but as I was kind of alluding to, because I enjoyed Resident Evil 2 so much, I really am kind of intrigued to play Resident Evil 0 for the first time. I started it way back in the day on a rental, and I didn't get
T's
that far.
Here, I think, because I heard kids, so T must be here.
Yep. His camera's on too, T. I see your ceiling. I see the ceiling.
The government is exposed. I'm gonna write that address down.
I don't want to see your Frank and Beans, so turn that camera off.
Whoa, what do you think?
He's sitting on the
Look at this man. It's Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is curious though why the file sizes are so big for old games. I know they're in HD now, but it's not like it's some magic like Wind Waker HD transformation. They don't look that much different in HD.
It's lazy bullshit.
But why is the game 13 gigs? It was 2 gigs maximum on the GameCube. And yeah, you put some HD textures, but what else added? Why is it almost?
No, wait there. You say HD textures.
Why is it almost the same in
Capcom don't do that well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't even really look HD. I'm just saying, I can't imagine why it's that the file size are that big.
Let's go look on the Steam page.
It's damn because those games are. I mean, I really like 7, and I feel like I want to pick up 2 one of these days.
2 is amazing, and that's like 20. I don't even know if that's 20 gigs on the PS4.
It's 20 gigs on Steam. The original Resident Evil.
What?
Yeah, the HD remaster.
That's insane.
It's 20 gigs on Steam. So they actually cut it down.
I thought it was a pretty big upgrade though. At least
from the GameCube to the HD, it's not to me.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not that big.
It's still the game. Damn, I forgot.
It's the GameCube version.
So if the PC version is 20 gigs, that's about what I expected. It got cut down from 20 to 12 on the Switch, and then the other one was 1, if I remember correctly.
It's just the collection, the Origins collection, just is stupid.
And then if I look,
release them separately.
And 4 is only 15 gigs on Steam, which means they only cut that down by a couple of
that
gigs.
that never got a HD.
Oh, so we're just getting here. We don't even know if this is. Do we know about motion controls or if it's using the Wii controls or not?
It's probably going to be like Revelations 1 and 2, where it's only the Joy-Cons. The gyro in the Pro controllers just doesn't work in Revelations at all. Like, it makes no sense. They both have the same gyro. Why does it?
I mean, does it give you the option to use it? Or you're just saying the controls are bad.
In Revelations 1 and 2, you can only use gyro with the Joy-Cons. You can't use.
Oh, so they don't even give you the option.
No, you got the option in Revelations 2 because I got that.
Well, you got the option to turn off the gyro, but what I'm saying is the Pro controller wasn't supported at all with gyro. Only the Joy-Cons. You get what I'm saying? It makes no sense.
Why would you use a Pro controller?
Exactly. Like, it's almost like they were trying to force you to use the Joy-Con. It's like I have my Pro controller now gyro even don't work. Like, what's the fuck? It made no sense, and I have a feeling it's going to be the same way.
Because like, well, everybody doesn't have the Pro controller, so they're just being cheap instead of putting in the work.
Gyro is gyro. I don't know how much different is the Pro controller gyro to just have that work. It just because with like Doom and stuff, it feels like maybe it's extra program, but it feels identical because it's like you would think it's pretty much the same gyro sensor in both things.
Well, no, I'm sure all that's the same. It's just that you have to press a button and add the Pro controller. They won't do it because it costs a little bit more money.
Yeah, so that was just weird. But I do kind of want to play Zero. I just watched a little trailer of it. I'm like, man, that's it'd be a new game to me, but I just don't know.
Yeah, I completed Zero, and it's okay. It's not as good as the original remake, but it's okay. The backgrounds still look lovely. The 2 character mechanics actually works all right and adds a bit of tension, but it's just not.
It gets a little tedious at points. So
yeah, I feel like after I played Resi Remake, playing that straight away, it's probably a bad idea. It was so it'd be interesting.
I fucked up.
Okay. I'm guessing you get off the train.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't even make it that far.
No, that's already the intro.
Also, I fucked up. Apparently, I messed up. I thought I was combining 0 and 1's file sizes. I wasn't. 0 is 13 gigs by itself, and 1's is 20 gigs by itself. So actually, I think 0 is literally just a straight conversion.
Yeah, that's actually right because they've never put Resident Evil 0 in HD. So,
but why is it 13 gigs now? I don't understand. It's like it was 2 gigs.
Yeah, why is it 13 gigs?
Don't know.
When it wasn't even 2 gigs. His GameCube was 1.5.
I guess because they're calling it. They're calling
it 2 discs.
I think so.
Oh, it's 2 discs. Yeah, never mind. Take that back.
So maybe it was closer to 2.5, 3, but it's still like what I figured they'd make it. They could make it smaller if anything, not bigger.
Wait a minute. Was 0 2 discs?
I think so, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, sure it was. Yeah,
I know Resident Evil 1 is, but
yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah.
It might have been. I can't remember.
Almost everything was 2.
Even though I just I tweeted it like a couple weeks ago. I can't remember.
It's like if Nintendo put the Metroid Prime on the eShop or whatever, and it wasn't any kind of remake or remaster.
Well,
and that game was like 13 gigs. It'd be like, why?
What the kicker is, this game, at least according to Steam's release date, 0 was put out 3 years ago on Steam. So you're charging this much for a game that's like 3 years old, even if you're just going by the HD remasters release date, and it's still like $30. That's kind of ridiculous.
And you're forcing people to download it.
Well, that and because everyone else is like, oh yeah, by the way, it's for everyone else is 20. Well, the fuck? Why am I spending 30 for then?
Is Resident Evil 4 available on a cartridge separately, or is that a download only option?
That's a download only game. You don't even get a physical option with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember I said I would have bought like all these Final Fantasy ports, all these Resident Evil ports, but they've come out. They've been crazy expensive. They've been bog standard ports. I'm just like fucking. you know what? I don't know how people could just soak these up once it's evident that you just get
Oh yeah,
ripped
because
off.
isn't like Final Fantasy 9 like isn't it like $40 or 30?
Well, Final Fantasy 7, no, Final Fantasy 9 on the
That was 20.
European new shop. It's like £20.
Oh, is it?
Fucking, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking just crazy, absolutely crazy. That's
I
not a.
didn't-
That's like Nintendo charging $20 for an N64 game. They didn't even do that. Even Nintendo didn't do that. It's like what, $10?
No, not
Yeah,
on a
they've
visual
always
console.
done it like $10 at least.
they were-
if I
yeah,
remember.
they were-
Yeah.
I thought there was some N64 games that were 20 on the first virtual console.
No, I remember them
No.
being 1,000 Wii Shop points, some shit. And
Yeah,
that was
that's
always
right.
like
$10.
always $10.
Mm.
Yeah.
So the Final Fantasy 12s are $50 on Switch, the physical,
Oh, is it? Hold on, let me
and
see.
the 10 and 10.2 HD remasters 50. At least
Yeah, they
$50.
aren't
You
these?
just-
I like how he's made. He's
It's like
tight.
it's a new game or some shit.
What the fuck? 50? Did you just say 50 or what?
Yeah, 50 for 12
right.
and 10, 10.2. At least that's
Barely
two
a
games.
last gen game.
They could suck on my chocolate
savage.
salty balls for how much, man. Fucking taking a piss.
Well, I
savage.
mean, in my mind, it's worse to charge 60 for Tropical Freeze 5 years later when it was only 50. You know, when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
that's just horrible.
that shit crazy. It's fucking, and it's like these games as well. Final Fantasy started going downhill from 10. I mean, 12 could be argued to be all right, but you know, let's not big up these games as if they're fucking amazing
Well,
because
12 got
I
a
mean-
lot of revisionist history. People hated it when they first came out.
Yeah, but I
Now
was like,
it's-
12
it's pretty
gets a
good.
lot of shit.
yeah, I don't like it. I've tried it a million times. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Well, I mean, what's worse, $50 for Final Fantasy 12 or $50 for 1-2 Switch?
Yeah, but to me, that's
Honestly,
that's like that you made the most convenient argument there. Like, oh, would you say the same thing about Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze?
Well,
Oh wait,
the
never
point-
mind. That's $60. I apologize.
Oh, we
the
did.
point
We
is,
said
none of
that
them,
was some
none of them are justified. That's
price
the whole
gouging
point.
bullshit.
Oh, by the way, 10.2 is the download only on Switch.
Oh, fuck. It's like,
10
oh,
is on the cart and 10.2
I
is.
gotta go turn my camera on again. Gotcha.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't.
At
I
least-
probably will get the fucking 7 at least. I'm not gonna.
well, they showed that in a fucking Mario commercial with Mario and Zelda on Nintendo's own channel. Like,
It's almost worth now buying a PlayStation Mini in order to get Final Fantasy 7. It'd
It won't run well. That's
Oh,
the
no.
problem.
It'd be the same price, I'm telling you.
I should download that on SNES. Classic
You
menu.
bitch.
I mean-
out of spite, fuck you, Square Enix. I'll play your games and I give you shit. Yeah,
I'm actually I'm going down the rabbit hole of Switch games and prices. Fucking ukulele physicals $50, and
I knew that.
that always
Well, it's a limited run, so
it is.
Yeah, I knew why that was the case.
But I don't want to go down that.
Yep, $50 for
Game
10.
was funded, but it's all right. Let's charge full price for
rare games. I can't really say much because they're rare. There's
Diablo
not a lot of
3. I
copies
mean,
made,
that's
you know.
Diablo 3 is an old ass game. That's still 60.
I'm not surprised by that one either.
Somebody here, I think, bought that too.
Retro?
Just leave me alone.
Oh, I knew somebody. I couldn't. I was like, I didn't know who it was.
At least it has all the DLC. I mean,
I pumped it a good few hours at the start. I haven't touched this since. So
Oh, what did
Oh,
I find
no.
out? What did I find out? Oh, fucking what? I can't think of the name of the game now. It was an old ass game that got announced for Switch, and they just recently mentioned the release date for it. Oh, what's it called? The what?
Trine 4 just got nothing.
No. The GTA like game that
Saints Row.
How much is Saints
Yeah.
Row?
says Row. It's missing 2 DLC packs. The Switch version is.
What? Wait, Saints Row? Isn't it Saints Row 3?
Yeah, it says Row. It says Row
The
3.
third.
And it's still missing deal.
Yeah, let me.
They have
How
the
much
Saints
is-
Row 4 out. How can you not bring in the DLC for the third one?
Well, that has
Maybe
most
it's terrible
DLC,
DLC though. It
just
might
not
not be.
all of the DLC.
It's like Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U all over again, man. It's fucking,
I thought it had a release date. Best Buy still don't have it listed.
Copy.
Do they have a price?
Oh, I'm gonna
$20 on Xbox 360. I could.
Well, we're not talking about that.
That's a 360 game. Fucking.
Yeah, it was.
I'm so sick of these.
I'm so sick of this shit.
You know, we didn't talk about it much, but I think we brought it up a few times. Didn't Dark Souls remastered on Switch end up being just the 360 version? And I don't even know if the resolution was any higher, just had a more stable frame rate. We ever talk about it? Like nothing about the game had changed. None of the textures, none of the models, everything's identical to the 360 version, just runs at a consistent 30 instead of the huge dips of the. It's like that's the best you could do with 360 games.
As far as I'm concerned, the 360 version looked better than remastered anyway.
Yeah, it looked ugly because they didn't. Well, the Switch version they didn't do. They undid all the what it. They basically just ported the 360 version, kept the remastered title.
Side note: they have Saints Row the Third for $34. At least the UK is $34.99 pounds. Pounds. Which I guess translates to about $46 American. Which
so it's gonna be a $50 title.
No.
Probably. It's not gonna be 30. It's not gonna be 40.
I don't think that really makes sense, to be honest.
Yeah, but to the thing, people. I'll be curious if any of these have done well. I don't think any of these have done well.
I don't. It won't sell. No, who's gonna buy it?
There's no way Saints Row is gonna sell.
No way.
Just look at LA Noire. It's the same type of random game that wasn't even that popular to begin with. You bring it to the Switch, and it's like.
But I thought it technically, but LA Noire technically outsold the Xbox One version or some shit.
Well, I'm sure it was.
So I'm sure there was still like.
That's a little surprising considering LA Noire had that download issue. I think, didn't it or no?
You had the white banner.
That's a little surprising considering you had to download it.
That means I'm sure they looked at that and said, "Hey, it did better than Xbox. That's nice."
Nintendo needs to they're making a shit ton of money on these Switches. Like, make the bigger carts affordable because this is just fucking.
I think they are. I think they are because even Square Enix is paying for the 16 gig ones.
Yeah,
at least so it's better than what were we doing 8 before.
Still,
yeah, LA Noire.
They need to eat the
Go ahead.
I was just saying they need to eat the cost of some of these fucking carts at this point.
Do we know the prices yet?
For what?
But for the cards.
No, I didn't.
We don't know the price for the cards.
I don't know how this hasn't slipped out from any developer anywhere.
Also, side note, apparently LA Noire on Switch sold like almost 500,000.
I wouldn't believe that.
Say what?
I don't believe that.
That's what's on video. What do you mean?
I don't believe it.
You don't believe that? What do you think?
Remember when they said Bayonetta was up to 900,000, then we heard a report it was like more like 600.
That's almost at half. That's a little bit over 500,000 right now.
Well, that's the Wii U. Though.
Bayonetta 2 is almost a little bit over 500,000.
The information on that thing was always spotty.
And Dark Souls only sold 300,000 and some change.
Still, that was like top of the heap for the Wii U third-party sales. Like the best case scenario. Oh man, I brought up Saints Row and LA Noire together, and it's like that's not the same juice. I'm just talking about 7th gen games. They weren't like super high successful, and you're bringing them this many years later. Like, who fucking cares? Like,
well, this is what they did with PS4 and Xbox One. They just
I was saying Saints Row, all that stuff is on Xbox One. They sneak dropped a lot of this, games from 360.
I think people are starting to, go off these late ports now. I think that initial Switch hype in terms of wanting everything, even from last generation on there, it's starting to fade a bit now.
It's like they're playing catch up, essentially.
Not at this cost. I don't want that.
There's a few. I guess. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't just pull one out, but I'm sure there's a couple games that would interest me more. Maybe Saints Row is a huge franchise for somebody, and they're super excited. But I'm just thinking.
Depends on the IP. Like I bought the Tales.
Want like a
for the hell of it.
Would like a Borderlands? Would that be something for Switch?
Yeah, I love Borderlands.
I wouldn't be against it.
I wouldn't buy them. I would not buy them.
I think at the end of the day, the issue is that some of these games people just don't fucking mind being on the Switch just because of the convenience of it. Like, even though Final Fantasy is overpriced, you think people still ain't gonna buy that shit? Like, oh yeah, you think I'm not gonna buy 7 to where I could play it again and have like the freedom of playing it whenever I want? Like, that's it's just a convenience thing at this point.
Play that shit for 10 minutes and never touch it again.
I mean, now, to be fair, G, that's true. There's a bunch of people who are going to do that. They're going to
go and buy this shit, and they're like, "Oh man, it's so convenient. So convenient. I ain't gonna play that shit."
Also, I know. I'm just looking through the sales of some of the Switch games. I didn't realize Monster Hunter Generations is sold as well as it has. It's like almost at 1 million. It's like at 0.72. Monster Hunter Generations, which is that 3DS.
Really? Well, that was a $40 game.
Yay!
Wasn't it?
Why you do that?
Well, that's Capcom charging a decent. Wasn't that $40 new?
On 3DS.
No, that game was.
It was 60 on Switch.
Sure?
40.
I just looked on Best Buy. It's 40 right now. It doesn't say sale or anything.
Oh well, yeah, but I'm sure
it's also a 2-year-old game.
Yeah, I'm sure they put the price down by now.
Yeah, Capcom is not
came out at
known
60.
Yeah, that game was $60. I remember that.
I don't remember that one,
which is insane because all it was an upscale game. But most people if you ask people, people say, "Yeah, that's the definitive Monster Hunter game." Like World is okay, but World is very casual friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I don't know where you see this okay. I always hear people praising that shit.
Fuck what are you talking about?
Best RPG of 2018. What are you talking about? Game's not even an RPG, but it still won that award. But
Monster Worship didn't deserve it. That was my
this
issue.
brings on an interesting point too. Like I was just thinking, I don't know if Red Knight's still watching this. He doesn't really care about I thought the first BioShock.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
I think the first BioShock I thought was a really good game. BioShock 2 was just a little too rinse and repeat. And I thought BioShock Infinite's definitely a worthwhile game. And something like a collection of those games, never been on a Nintendo system, is appealing. But then you think about this cart situation, and you probably maybe get BioShock 1 and 2 if you're lucky on the same cart, but probably not. You probably just 1. So I think that's kind of... I think we'd get more of these if.
What would you?
I think you can get BioShock 1 and Infinite. Oh, I'm trying to remember if Infinite was. It was only one disc, right, on 360.
Yeah,
I have Infinite on PC.
Yeah, it's one disc. Yeah, it's one disc on 360.
I think Infinite was
it's only 8 gigs. So you could probably squeeze that.
I played Infinite on PC. I got it on my Steam. I could have a look.
Let me see how big. Yeah, like something like that would be intriguing.
Yeah, I don't need 2. I'd rather have
just 1 and Infinite on the same cart, like stuff like that. I could see, like, obviously I'm partial, but like the Tomb Raider remakes. I mean, games like that I think would have some impact versus a Saints Row the Third. Like that's just weird.
That is weird because from what I heard, Saints Row the Fourth didn't even sell well.
Oh, THQ, they just trying to.
Well, that's like that's why they put the third one because the third one apparently is like the best.
Yeah, people said third one is the best one.
Because it came right in between like 4 and 5 for GTA, so it was like kind of like that in between gap where people wanted some new GTA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Saints Row is one of those games that, like, from what I heard, I had friends who liked the hell out of it, but like, it's kind of like a wacky version.
Got Max Headroom in here. Got robot voice.
Been
a while. How's it going, Robot Terrell?
What happened?
Been a minute since we heard from you.
I don't know where it came from.
Oh, it's gone now.
He's gone now. He's gone. We'll see him again later.
It sounded like he was on auto-tune for a minute.
I was doing my best T-Pain impression. I'm not a rapper though.
All right, what were you saying?
No, I'm saying like the people who were interested in Saints Row were primarily interested in Saints Row because it's just a wackier version of GTA. So like, it's not that I don't think it can do well. It's just I don't know.
The first 2 were more serious, actually.
Yeah, they changed it. They changed the style, I guess, for more mass appeal.
Because it was too much,
like GTA.
Basically, it was too much. It was getting too much comparison to GTA.
Unfortunately, I think they went. From what I heard, they went too goofy in the 4th one, and
yeah, I didn't even touch 4. It looked too crazy.
Yeah, I remember seeing some gameplay of it. I was like, what the fuck? What are they doing? Like they just got too zany for them.
I think that's all they could really sell it on.
You can use a dildo, and hit people.
I knew that was coming from Robert.
Robert would be Robert. That use like Robert. That's totally your game. That's 100% your game. He's like, I don't like GTA. I'll play Saints Row. I'll play the fuck out of Saints Row.
So moving on to the next topic. is let's just get out of the way. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Terrell, I saw you had a video, and then all I heard was other people talking, and I was like, I want to hear Terrell's thoughts. So,
oh yeah, because I didn't actually get the chance to do my own. I was kind of Pokemon a lot this week. It was just a lot of Pokemon talk.
So seriously, your thoughts are the ones I'm most interested in hearing. Your initial reaction to the reveal, or the gameplay trailer, or whatever you want to call it, gameplay slash.
My initial thoughts was I was kind of I wouldn't say I was blown away, but I'm pretty fucking excited. Especially because I think I mentioned it in the chat that I was like analyzing the fuck out of the map just to see how the things would change and what would be the route you take and all this other shit. And then I watched Game Explain's analysis, and that kind of got me a little bit more excited about it. I have no issue with the region. We hadn't really seen any new Pokemon other than the starters, and I like rabbits, so my starter was already kind of predestined to saw. As soon as I saw a rabbit and it didn't look like ass, because Pokemon's only had there's only been 2 rabbit Pokemon. One of them looks like a fucking construction worker, and I can't have that shit. So
yeah, I think Score Bunny's my starter too.
Yeah, Score
Bunny's easy the worst one. He's
pretty cool.
Who you co-signing with then, Robert? What you want?
Sabo, yo.
You know the funny thing is, I looked it up today.
Wobble bitches.
I heard apparently in Japan, Sabo is the fan favorite in Japan. Yeah, for some bullshit reason. I don't understand why. He's not interesting.
Dude, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, he looks like a cool guy.
And Grookey just looks fucking weird to me because I'm not used to seeing a green fucking monkey. That just seems.
There's been a lot of green grass monkeys, though, right?
There was a lot. There was only like 2 in Gen 7, which was orangutan, and the other one had like a football player motif to it. There aren't that many monkeys in general, though.
I used to see green monkeys all the time.
So what was the thing? What was the thing got you the most excited? Because they didn't show a whole lot of
It was the region. The region looks cool as hell to me.
Or the actual
both
models.
I like the 3D character models.
Not the character, but the environment.
The environment. Oh yeah, the environments are cool as hell. I like the fact that the environments are more detailed in the battles. The fact that it has kind of this industrial feel to it, and people are already kind of looking and theorizing what the theme of the game is, because every generation has its own theme. And there seems to be a huge emphasis on either nobility or kind of like nature versus machinery, and I'm totally down for that look and style.
All right, let's get everybody else's impressions of their first impressions, and then we can do a deep dive. Clocked it. I'm gonna go to you next. Very first impressions to the Pokemon Sword and Shield.
I thought it looked fucking shit.
Care to elaborate?
Drops mic.
And it's weird. It's the first game based on his neck of the woods. That's the irony of it all.
Nah, I was getting into it. Yeah. I thought graphically it looked all right. I didn't think it looked amazing. I thought it just looked all right. And then I thought, okay, this is what they're doing, fine. And then as soon as I saw the battle animations and stuff, and as soon as I saw the characters, I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes, it's the same shit all over again. And I just knew right there and then I was just not going to be not so much happy, but I was just disappointed again, utterly disappointed. And then we're talking about the starter Pokemon. I think every single one of their character designs absolute garbage. I hate the look of all of them, and I feel like Game Freak have just run out of ideas and creativity because they have created so many characters. We get some monkey that looks like half parrot, half what the fuck. We get some little fucking newt thing which got little stumpy arms like a T-Rex and just looks trash. and then some
damn.
And then some fire rabbit which looks like he's got a Ryo Hazuki plastered on his forehead. I just thought they looked garbage, and using the CGI to show them off. The CGI, I thought the animation of the CGI looked trash. It's like some low budget.
Yeah, the CGI
it was terrible.
Someone tried to tell me there's never been a video game that looked as good as that CGI. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I wouldn't go that far.
What?
Not even close.
You know, I was just disappointed with like, because I spoke about it in my last video, and I said, you know, when I look at animation of Red Knight mentioned this, actually he mentioned Wind Waker, and when you like look at the animation of even a GameCube game like Wind Waker, which I put some footage in on my video, and then compared to the Pokemon that we saw, it's just night and fucking day. It's just they might look clean enough, it might look okay enough, but there's a lot more that's not happening in this game from what we've seen so far. And some people are like, yeah, you know, let's wait 9 months or whatever. No, I'd prefer them. I would prefer them if there's really that much to still be done. I would have preferred them not to have shown this and just waited just a bit longer to clean it up a bit, because I just think overall it looks more of the same. It's literally just more of the same, and I don't, and that's when graphics stuff don't matter, when it's been more of the same for 20 years. So initial impressions were okay, it's looking all right, to basically, yeah, more of the same, all interest gone until I see the final game, which I gotta get now. My daughter's a Pokemon fan. I bought a Let's Go. I showed her this trailer, and I tell you what, even she was just like not even hyped for it. You know, she was still like, yeah, it looks cool, but not like, holy fucking shit, this looks amazing. You know, it's just I can't even coming from Terrell, and I don't mean to sound cold blooded here.
No, you're fine.
I just can't imagine anyone looking at this and saying this looks incredible and truly meaning it. I just can't see it. But
all right, so Robert, what was your take on the? Because I've seen some comments, and you played Let's Go, but you haven't really fucked with the series much other than that. So what was
other than, you know, the greatness that is my Pokemon Red.
You know, shut the fuck up.
And by the way, I'm watching Pokemon Sun and Moon walkthrough from the beginning of the game. I've never actually seen footage of the game, other than a trailer whenever they showed it during a direct. And yeah, I'm seeing why people are saying the Sword and Shield looks just like Sun and Moon with, you know, obviously higher quality visuals. But anyway, go ahead, Robert.
So my very first reaction, because every time I watch a live stream, to be honest, I'd probably watch it like in 480 anyway. I don't actually, a lot of times it ends up not being 720 anyway. I was like, whoa, this is
TV's in your face anyway.
yeah. It's also close to my face all the time. Shit, so I see something, you know, I've never seen for Pokemon. I'm like, oh, this shit looks really cool. This is nice.
You watching 4E on that big ass TV? Are you serious?
yeah.
I watched it on my phone. It looked real nice till I watched it.
Well, that's the thing, is I was like, this looks good, and then after the trail, after I turned off my video and I uploaded it also, and as I started thinking about it, and I started, you know, listening to Clocked and stuff, I was and when you rewatch the trailer, there's a lot of things that are just fucking flat, and you're just like, yeah, this isn't as good as I was initially. Like at first, I'm like, whoa, yo, oh god.
Yeah, that first shot had me like sucked in for a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why, like, after that, I was just like, yeah, no, it doesn't actually look that great. You know, the character models are nice. I think that's the best part of it, is the character models. But like, all the textures are really low. Like they're strangely low. Like from far they look nice because, you know, they're far away, but you get even semi close to them, they look pretty damn low. And especially like even I saw it pointed out multiple times that the logo on his uniform is literally like I don't know N64. Yeah, like it's so low, it's bizarrely low.
You commented on the fact that the random battles are back, and then they still don't attack each other. They just still do their little swipe, and then
yep. And it's weird because like it'd be cool at least if the animations, you know, like he hits him and then they go boom, he hits him and it gets some ass flashy stuff. Is it cool?
Come on, we all watched the anime as well, yeah. And when they're fighting the anime, those battles are epic. And that's why you love watching the anime as well, because you really get into the fights. But even that, sorry, Rob, I don't mean to cut you off here, but those little shitty mouth animations that fly across the screen and bite and stuff like that. It's like, come on now, let's just at least try to make some effort to move forwards a little. But yeah, sorry, Rob, go ahead, mate. Go ahead, sorry.
And I think it's just they played it. It's strange. Like I think they took more of a risk with lights going away with the whole especially gameplay wise, And people love to say, well, but casuals, but to me it's like yeah, but at least there should have been some shit like having the Pokemon in the overall. Like how is that taken out? Like that doesn't even make sense. Why that'd be taken? Like where's the logic in that?
Is it taken out though?
We see, but as
it shows a random battle.
There was no.
I'm pretty sure it's taken out.
Because all the time you would see the Pokemon on the overall. This you're sneaking and all of a sudden, then and it's like, whoa, and I think honestly, like that doesn't make any sense why they took that out. And I don't know. It's just like it seems kind of safe. It seems pretty safe in terms of definitely gameplay. Like even in terms of art style, they obviously shows a bigger leap in terms of probably the more openness of it. But I was also saying that I think honestly it's not nearly as open as maybe people are gonna think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it is either after watching.
It's not open at all.
I think honestly it's just bigger little areas and that they just connect with each other. That when I first saw, I'm like, oh, this is great. It's actually an open like Pokemon game. That's fucking awesome. And then all of a sudden, when I kept seeing these backgrounds look so flat, I was like, I don't know. I don't think this is actually open. I think literally it's just smaller, bigger, small areas.
Yeah.
and I was like, oh shit. I guess it's probably not that open. And people were talking about a fixed. Is it really a fixed camera? It better not be. That'd be so fucking retarded. Oh god, that's not good. That's why it's like it goes from like one step forward with like, hey, you're on a console. Then they just took one step forward and they just sat there. They're like, but we're good, right? And it's like, no. What about everything else?
Dude, I'm 15 minutes into this gameplay of Sun and Moon, and I've seen nothing but text bubbles and like maybe 20 seconds of walking sections and everything else.
Yeah, Sun and Moon is probably the worst game because it has like a really I think it was like I won't say it's either 20 minutes or 2 hours worth of tutorial bullshit.
Yeah, it was. I think
Sun and Moon has a really bad. That was probably my biggest issue with the newer Pokemon. After you left the DS, you get a bunch of fucking tutorial shit for the Pokemon for games, and I haven't been a fan of that shit before.
I gotta find part 4 just to hopefully find some actual regular gameplay. But all right, T, what was your initial thoughts of the Sword and Shield?
Well, initially I was kind of smiling. I thought, oh, they opened it up, looking pretty good. I mean, I wasn't blown away by the visuals, but I was like, this is a step in the right direction. It looked open world, but the more I watched it, I started to see the kinks in the armor. I was like, I don't know if this is actually open as it looked. And definitely, especially when they went inside the house, I was like, this looks like, this looks like Sun. Looks Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Some badass bedroom as well. No
furniture. Oh man, this is.
I will give them
but I can't get down on them because, like I said to you guys and whatnot, it's just like it's
pretty early, but
it's too early. Like it's too early as far as the polish goes, and I need to see more as far as the characters actually moving around in the world, so we can get a sense of how open or not open that is. I have a feeling it's less open than it looked, as you guys were saying. But I mean, as far as like the battles and stuff, like that's if you're looking for anime battles in Pokemon, I was not expecting that at all.
I will say I did see some pretty like elaborate effects going on with some of the attacks. I'm not sure was probably not in the 3DS games with like wind effects and a bunch of stuff going on.
No, all this shit was in the 3DS.
Yeah, I remember them still, and that's why a lot of times didn't they actually like kind of the frame rate kind of fuck around.
Well,
the
frame got rid of the 3D and
die, yo,
because of the frame rate. But I don't love it, but I don't exactly hate it right now. At least right now, I do wish they would have pushed this and that a little bit further. But at this point, for me, it's still too early because, like I said, the game is 10 months away at least, and who knows when they put this build of the demo together. It could have been some months ago as well. So I'm sure they didn't just do it, a few days or even weeks before the direct. I mean, they could have done weeks before, but usually you don't want to disrupt your team who's working on the game with having to spit out a build for whatever. So I'm still a little optimistic, but I'm sure some things that I was hoping for haven't changed much. But at least it's not as bad as it could have been.
I was expecting looks just like Let's Go, but we're calling it something different. Could have been, even though Let's Go does have some nice visuals in certain areas, but
Let's Go also has like that style. I don't fucking care. Like Let's Go to me, it was going for, ironically enough, I think the character models were going way more for the anime style than the Pokemon were. The Pokemon in this game are going for the anime style. But I think the character models in the other game were going for the anime style. Like I mean, I can refute some of these. Like I'm with T. I wasn't expecting like these anime fights. I don't understand that. I can agree that it does look like an up-res version of Sun and Moon's models. But for me, graphics. I wasn't, as long as the game runs stable, I'm not really I wasn't ever overly concerned about graphics, but I can understand the argument that people are making about the graphics looking like ass or not looking good. I'm fine with that.
Let me ask you this then. Were we all not expecting these things that we're asked, or because either Pokemon doesn't need them or because we felt that Game Freak just wouldn't do it? Why weren't we expecting them?
Oh, you mean you're asking me why I wasn't expecting like for the graphics and shit?
Just say more animated battle systems, or more openness or interactivity with the world, or lively cities and stuff like this.
Fully movable camera.
Well, for me, it was definitely because I didn't think Game Freak would do it. But a lot of that has to do with the fact Game Freak, as I think I said in one of your tweets, I think I replied to Clocked It, was that Game Freak, or maybe it was your video. Game Freak is, they've been working on laughable hardware for quite some decades now, and so for me to expect them to move to the console and all of a sudden they're gonna have this elaborate setup for Pokemon that's just way super big change in what Pokemon is, I was not expecting that at all. Even the Coliseum games, if you play Coliseum and maybe even Stadium, those were obviously leaps over the the Game Boy and whatnot games. But those games weren't even done by Game Freak, I don't believe.
Those were intelligent systems.
Right, it was intelligent systems. So Game Freak didn't even have that kind of experience working with 3D models and whatnot and on a console. So for their first, obviously Let's Go was their toes dipping in the water for an HD console, but as we all know, it wasn't that huge of a dip, and there's toes dipping in the water. So when you come to the first mainline Pokemon game on a console, I wasn't expecting them to mess with the formula all that much. I was expecting it to be somewhat safe, and for a lot of people that's disappointing, and even for me it's also disappointing. I would like more, but I maybe it's because I wasn't expecting it to be too crazy, that I'm not overly disappointed. I'm disappointed, but I'm not crazy disappointed.
It's like, and also I want to respond to it too, just because I didn't expect them. I didn't think they would do it, but my reason is this: it's because Game Freak, in my issue, and this has been an issue I've had with Game Freak for a while now. Game Freak won't take a fucking break in between titles. When you think about it, Let's Go hadn't even been out for a year. Let's Go has only been out for 3 months, maybe 3 to 4 months, and you've already announced a new fucking game, and it's been like this since 2013. Yeah, they don't take breaks, so there's not enough time to have major advancements in their battle system. So I didn't expect this huge world. That's part of the reason why I'm not disappointed about that. Not saying I wouldn't have minded it. I'm just saying I wasn't expecting it because I knew. That's part of the reason why I think they keep reusing the models, because they don't have enough time to fucking sit there and reanimate models for 800 and some Pokemon, plus come up with animations and models for like another however many they add, like another 100 or so. Like they need to. I would only expect that if we took like maybe like a 3-year break. Then I'm like, okay, then I think it's fair to expect those things because it's been a long enough time where they're not doing anything. Game Freak is probably the most consistent developer Nintendo has, where they put out like a game like almost every fucking year. And I partially think that's part of the reason why people either get burnt out on the franchise or if they don't make major advancements in the gameplay. And that's been an issue for a while for me. But see, that's why I didn't expect it.
And to address one more thing that Clark had said about dog shit new Pokemon and how I was like, you're right, and to some extent, but I'm like, have you seen a lot of Pokemon?
Yeah,
like, a lot of them are just like, come on.
I don't think that. I hate. Clark did said the one phrase that any long running fan hates. Oh, Game Freak's running out of ideas, and I'm like, no, they can have great designs and they can have really shitty designs.
Really bad ones.
And every generation has examples of both.
Oh yeah.
So, and you're also talking about the first stage evolutions. You're not even talking about the final forms. So
let me give my take, because I saw that opening camera pan through the approaching the village, and I was like, no shit, like this. They did it. They made like a big 3D environment, and I'll just tell you this: I didn't know you couldn't move the camera around.
Yeah, you've never been able to do that.
No, but I was watching the reaction of somebody who was just like, "Are they going to let me use it?" Nope. And it's like saw like the first walking, and he's like, "Nope, it's the same."
Yeah, I don't believe you're going to have free camera in this game.
When I saw like out front of the cottage, it showed the boy and then the girl. I was like, all right, I like the anime style for these characters. Looks good, and it's looking clean, it's colorful. I'm thinking, damn, I said that if they went above and beyond, I was gonna have to pre-order this game. And so my initial thoughts were, wow, I didn't think they would go to this level. That's how low my expectations were. And I don't mind that the character, the battles aren't more, like Pokken tournament style or anything like that. But then I started, after my initial like expectations were exceeded, then I rewatched it, and I was like, yeah, they're definitely it definitely could look better here and there, and then I see the Pikachu. I absolutely hate the cell shaded look of Pikachu versus his more 3D look. It's the exact same character model, just with a different art style, put over it, and I just didn't care for that. And then you're looking at I was just watching Sun and Moon gameplay, and the walking, the environment seems to be the kind of the same, kind of a little bit static. There's not much going on in the world or anything like that. So, and then finding out all the other things that were the same from the previous game, I was just like, yeah, I guess it doesn't qualify for what I said would get me to get the game for sure at this stage. But
like, thank God. Whew.
Yeah, like I saw that hill with like the person like shape in it, like an alien or like crop circles types of art in that big hill. And then I'm watching it again, and it's like, all right, the foreground looks nice and crisp, but that hill in the background looks like fucking. It looks like a low res JPEG. So they got some work to do. I hearing from reactions from longtime Pokemon fans, it seems like not a lot has evolved from what they've shown. And it's like, hopefully it doesn't have that super long tutorial like Sun and Moon that I just sat through parts of. And I don't know, it seems like you said they put out games all the time. They just put out Let's Go 3-4 months ago. Why don't they take a break? That's where when they announced Ultra Sun and Moon, And then when they announced Let's Go, and I'm like, these guys are just milking their fan base. We didn't need Let's Go in November. Like, they didn't need Ultra Sun and Moon. They needed to take a break and make this Switch game have, full attention, but that's not how they operate, so.
I don't know. I can't tell if that's Nintendo or if that's Game Freak themselves or what.
I doubt I don't think Nintendo's like, put this out every year.
I mean, Nintendo has some say in terms of...
But they don't do that. I mean, they don't do that for any other franchise.
I don't know. Some of their IPs have gone through that oversaturation.
Not every year for the last, 5-6 years. They've never done that. So I don't know. We don't know whose decision that is, but
this has just been an issue in general. And to be fair, they could do it. They used to do it relatively well on the Game Boy Advance to DS transition. And most people would still tell you the best game in the franchise, at least to most people, is the 5th Gem, which was the last DS games. Particularly because I feel like they had finally nailed everything you could do in that 2D style. I mean, they were doing 3D models in the fucking DS games. Like that's how far ahead they were. And I feel like everything had to reset when we hit the 3DS. And when you hold an RPG up to 3D standards, that's a whole different fucking ball game. So it's felt like since 2013 they're just playing fucking catch up.
So how does Ultra Sun and Moon compare to X and Y from just gameplay, visuals, and everything?
Oh, visually it is a step up from Sun and Moon. If you go look up just the models, they have way more like chibi anime style models in X and Y. X and Y also has a very inconsistent frame rate. Like it was a decent jump, I would say. Not anything amazing, but decent considering it was on the 3DS. But it wasn't like...
So they improved over the course.
Oh, no, they've improved since, like, X and Y, they have improved just on the 3DS. Like, Ultra Sun and Moon, most people would say, visually and gameplay-wise, I mean, and just Gen 7 in general looks good. It's just...
Damn it, Mom! So, one thing that I find funny, and once I found out somebody's sleeping... Clocked it. Did you fall asleep?
No, it's not me.
Sounded like it. But there's that moment in the trailer where they have the character standing there as the camera's panning around, and it's cutting to different environments, different characters as the camera's panning. Like, hey, like I do a lot in 3D games or third person games. I'm always moving the camera around, and it's like, did they do that just to piss in the face of the fans? Say, hey, you want to move the camera around? Here's what it would look like.
No, I've never been one of those people who thought it was a big deal that I couldn't move the camera in these games. But the difference is that like this is the first Switch mainline game versus like the 3DS games where it never bothered me. I wasn't like
Switch. This little section.
Can I just say one thing just to finish this little bit off? For me anyway. I all I hear just saying was a lot of excuses for Game Freak or the Pokemon Company, whatever, right? I just hear a lot of excuses about why they done it like this, why they possibly couldn't do it this way, blah 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 blah. Now, if we were talking about any other company, right? I a smaller company, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fine. But on that same day, right, that video released, I remember going on Twitter and I saw another trailer for Oceanhorn 2. Okay, and the first Oceanhorn looked like a top-down Zelda,
man,
and the second one was in full 3D from this indie developer. They've only done 2 games. Yep, first 2 games they've ever worked on. Yeah, start the top-down, little shitty little 3D game, and then move into full 3D for the next one when the cameras move around the way. Now, I'm not saying Oceanhorn 2 graphically looks better than Pokemon Sword and Shield, although I probably would argue that it does. But I'm just saying I don't find any excuse from especially a company who, let's reiterate once again, who have the second largest gaming franchise in the world. I don't find any excuses for them to be slacking in certain ways when it comes to either 2D games or 3D games. And I got no problem with the fixed camera in Pokemon. A lot of people keep on saying, people expected a Breath of the Wild Pokemon. I don't have any problem with a fixed camera in Pokemon. That's fine. I play loads of RPGs with fixed cameras. It's absolutely fine. But let's touch up on the quality a bit. Let's touch up on the animation a bit, because they got the money, they got the power, and they got the backup. They could have asked Namco, they could have asked Monolith Soft, they could have asked all these developers who work with Nintendo to help them out if they're that shit at programming games. Just ask for help.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great example, because you are right. Especially Oceanhorn. Oceanhorn to Oceanhorn 2, that's a night and day. I mean, that is pretty stellar. The visuals in Oceanhorn 2.
That's just from an indie developer.
That's an indie developer.
Yeah, we just thought, right, let's step it up a bit for our next game, because
I'm not giving them excuses. I'm just saying I would not what I did not expect from based on their history of Game Freak. I did not expect much as far as that goes. I mean, I did expect a free roaming camera and whatnot, and I guess we're not going to get that. So that's a disappointment.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
Fixed camera.
I don't imagine
weird.
The design still seems very rooted in 3DS design, just based off of what I've seen. It looks like it's rooted in 3DS.
Well, they said that when they first announced it, that it was going to follow in the same suit as Sun and Moon, didn't they? They said that.
They just said it was going to be a mainline game if
yeah, like Sun and Moon or whatever.
So I'm not surprised at that. I'm not saying that it's justified, because honestly it's not. But the problem is that they have no reason to change it, because they make money. It's the same.
So
it's kind of the same
copies.
It's the same argument that happens with the Call of Duty franchise. It's not that they don't have the capacity to change it. It's just, I'm making money. I'm not overly sweating it. Also, it's a kids franchise, so they really don't. It's not.
The difference is
Call of Duty is a little bit more acceptable, because it's like, okay, I shoot other people. That's it.
And it's it was always on the high end hardware. It wasn't like coming from the DS to HD or anything. Like it was always on a powerful system.
I was just gonna say, don't use kids as an argument, because my 8-year-old just completed Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Just don't.
No, it's not that. I'm not talking about in terms of game design. When I say it's a kid franchise, that means it's one of those franchises that makes money off of its property alone. Like it's because it has that mass appeal. They don't have to try like that. Not to the degree of not to anything that most modern gamers will look at their big budget franchises as. Like Pokemon kind of can get away with what it's been getting away with for years. Because to me, most people would say X and Y was a terrible fucking gen. 2013, that was a bad fucking game on all fronts.
Yeah, I'm looking at footage of X and Y, and it looks like a DS game compared to Sun and Moon. So I mean, there is hope.
They've made progression. I think there's just too much of the old game design ideas. It's slow. Pokemon is very slow with its progression. That is something that's always kind of been an issue. Now, to be fair, on the older games, you couldn't expect much, because you're going from a fucking Game Boy Color to an Advance. You're going from the Advance to the DS, and they made proper progressions in those games. But I would say since the 3DS, it's been really slow, especially when 3D design. It shouldn't be as bad as it is, but it is, because they won't fucking slow down and actually perfectly think out their ideas. I've had my issues with Game Freak probably since 2013. Sun and Moon was a breath of fresh air, only because it felt like they were trying again. And then Let's Go was announced, and I'm like, here we go again. We're back to the same bullshit ass pandering they've been doing. Actually, since 2013. But
I can tell you right now, I know the name of the next Pokemon game after Sword and Shield. It's going to be Let's Go. Whoever the next Pokemon is going to be.
That wouldn't surprise me. But
what was the next Pokemon game after whatever?
Gold, Silver, Crystal. So it'd be.
So who was the starters?
See, the starters were Cyndaquil, Chikorita, and Totodile.
Those don't roll off the tongue.
None of them do. Well, the only reason why they used Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is because there was a yellow version, and yellow version was based off the anime, which was Ash's Pikachu. Because the starters in red, blue, and yellow aren't Pikachu. It's Charmander, Bulbasaur, and
Squirtle. Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a version of Let's Go.
Who's the more iconic one in the second gen? I don't even know.
Gen 2 doesn't have that much.
Not really, no.
Like, I mean, people know it, but like, there's no one like Pikachu or Eevee.
It'll be Let's Go Pikachu 2.
I mean, I get what Juice is saying. Essentially, they're gonna just do it with Johto.
It's gonna have "Let's Go" in the title.
And my problem with that is people want to sit here and say, "Oh, Let's Go was more ambitious," and I'm like, not really. Let's Go to me is pretty safe.
Can you ride on Pokemon? You think in Sword and Shield?
No, I doubt it.
I don't know how you don't think it's more ambitious when it.
You know why I think why I don't think it's more ambitious?
Oh shit!
Because you took first off, they've been remaking the first generation games.
But who cares? Okay, forget about remaster. But what in terms of the gameplay, it changed it up more than.
No, it didn't.
What?
It made it simpler. Oh, all I gotta do now is play this motion control mini game to catch a Pokemon.
But it's
what other advancement? Robert, what other advancement does the game have?
It doesn't have to do with advancement. I'm talking about changing it. I'm talking about.
Oh, so you just want something different? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, he just said it's a change. Robert wins 2 points. Sorry.
Yeah, he wants something different. Because
advancement is super subjective. People would say that.
No, it's not. It's something that makes the gameplay experience more enjoyable. That's advancement.
Well, guess what? Some people enjoy throwing the ball more than you. You know, there's other people's opinions in the world. And
shit is getting heated up here.
I mean, no, fuck it. We can have the conversation.
We got to get onto the Switches.
Let me just add what Rob is saying. They took a risk. And
they didn't.
In a fundamental.
They did not take a risk. I promise you. I promise you it's not a risk.
A risk pissing off.
I would bet money I wouldn't call that a risk.
It's more than a risk.
People in the chat.
Let me look at some Let's Go
was a risk.
Right
I don't think Let's Go was a risk
I would
at all.
argue it's definitely more than a risk.
I agree with Terrell. Let's Go wasn't a risk at all, but they still made changes.
That's all we're saying.
They made a change.
Fundamental.
They made a change.
They made 2 changes.
What was
gonna make a change?
Oh, because you can ride your Pokemon, which really doesn't even add it. It's just an aesthetic difference. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah,
that looks cool.
That's still adding to the environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm watching.
The environments are more limited in Let's Go because it's based off of Kanto.
Talking about in terms of the fucking
fight.
Right of the damn cock of the fucking Pokemon.
The thing that Let's Go did wrong is that damn one control is the only option on dock.
Well, that's just a stupid design.
In portable mode, you can actually play with a regular setup for.
Yeah, that's just a stupid design in general. But that's something we've been dealing with, ironically, since like the Wii days.
But I'm looking at Let's Go walkthrough right now, and I mean, it's not like everything. The backgrounds are like grandioso or like amazing, but it is a very clean looking game.
I'll put it this way. To prove my point, I'll say this. Generation 7 on the 3DS is more ambitious than Let's Go. Like that's what I'll say. Like if you view Let's Go as ambitious, then you would have loved Sun and Moon.
I'm not viewing it as ambitious. I'm just saying
they tried some different things.
They tried different things compared to what looks like Sword and Shield.
I wouldn't say that.
Random Pokemon out in the wild. But they did regress with when you find them out in the wild, all you can do is catch them. You can't battle them. So that's a negative for a lot of people in Let's Go. It's like, I'm just trying to catch them.
Yeah, because and here's the thing. I'm not against that idea. I wasn't against the idea of having overworld Pokemon in the world. I wasn't against having it in this game. But I still want to fight them because it's an RPG.
And yeah, that's the whole thing too, is that
holding the Pokemon and just remember, the reason why I also call it a regression is because they only did it for the first 151. Like there's over 800 Pokemon and you can only catch the first gen in the game.
They also like Kahuna.
I guess the Alola versions.
They integrated, Pokemon Go. That's also a change for the franchise. That's not going to be in Sword and Shield.
Well, you can't say that because Let's Go is out.
Oh yeah, we technically don't know, but I really doubt it.
That one, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. That's possible. I don't see why you couldn't do it. It's the same console.
I thought that's
the same devices.
But that's the whole point. I thought Let's Go Let's go.
I do. I think I like the 3D character models in Let's Go better than the flat anime.
I actually like the Pokemon in Let's Go.
And the Pokemon.
Hey T, you staying quiet like me now?
Yeah, all right, we're moving on to the Switch.
I mean, that's fine.
I'm done with this Poke Talk.
Yesterday, the Switch celebrated its 2nd birthday. It's been 2 years since I started my journey in Hyrule, and it's just I remember when it was just felt like forever to find out even what the Switch was, and then October, we got this little tease. January, that's like 2 months away, Jesus, and then January comes out and it's like, the system comes out in March, and we're like, all right. Red Knight's like, system out in March. 2 months later, we got E3. 2017 is looking good. We got Mario, we got Zelda, we got all these games, and now fucking 2 years have passed, and it's like, holy shit. So it's just it's crazy. But I kind of want to talk about just 2 years of any memories, whether good or bad, like highlight, like what's the best thing about the Switch for you? What game are you most thankful you have a Switch for now? Like stuff like that, and we'll just kind of reminisce and share some memories. So I think we did this last year too, and it's so vivid in my mind that day, that first get home, turn on the Switch, and while it was still in portable mode or whatever, I dock it, do all the update and create my Mii or whatever you had to do, and I put in that Breath of the Wild, and I played, I don't know, probably 2-3 hours, and went to bed. And I just remember I couldn't fall asleep for an hour because I just was grinning ear to ear in bed, like after I played the game, like a fucking kid on Christmas.
Like you just made some love or something.
And you didn't want to die in a car crash either, did you?
Yeah, and it was like I could not stop smiling. I'm like, I have Breath of the Wild. Like I'm playing Breath of the Wild. I have the system to play Well, I had the Wii U, so I technically could have played it on that, but like that will never be topped for me. I don't think in these 2 years it hasn't been topped, and I don't know what could top that for me with the Switch. And it's kind of sad to say that because it's a Wii U game. I could have had pretty much the same feeling probably, other than the ability to snap screenshots. But that's just my easiest, most vivid memory of the Switch. In year 2, I didn't have a lot of positives, so that year was kind of a throwaway year. But so that's my story. I probably told it last year, and I'll probably tell it next year. But Clocked It, why don't you just anything that comes to mind you want to say, memory of Switch, whether it's booting it up for the first time or something could be a month ago that jumps out at you.
Yeah, God, it's hard not to talk about Zelda, isn't it? Because I think it was just the run up to it, the whole. I mean, getting Zelda on the Switch for all of us, I think it wasn't abandoning the Wii U, but there's always something exciting about getting a brand new console, having a day one amazing game, and how often does that happen? It really, really happens, and just I don't know, some quick memories on on Zelda. I remember everyone talking about how hard it was, how we all got our asses whooped and getting like one hit killed and stuff like that, and some vivid memories. Stuff like I used to like the storms in Breath of the Wild used to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, the lightning.
I would run and hide under trees and all this stuff until the storm went past. Because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know I didn't think to throw away my weapons and stuff. I'd be scared to swim across rivers because my stamina would run out and I'd drown, and stuff like that. But other stuff later on the Switch that I was loving from Nintendo, but we haven't really seen anymore. Like when we played Mario Odyssey, and it was simple stuff like them using the screenshot button on the controller, on the Joy-Con, whatever, to actually use it in game. So you take a picture of something and you have to go to your screenshot menu to have a look in order to solve the puzzle game and stuff. I can't think of any other console I've done that. So I just love the fact that Nintendo still thought of these little things that were just simple on their controller, just taking a screenshot but still use them in their games. And I kind of hope that that continues. The Joy-Cons, I mean, it's like we all chew out 1-2 Switch, but I actually got bought that, so I was lucky I didn't actually pay for it. Experiencing the HD Rumble, the marble game still in 1-2 Switch is still the best use of HD Rumble I've felt. You actually really just feel like these little marble balls rolling around in your Joy-Con. It's absolutely incredible. And then after that, you know, just little stuff like with Mario Odyssey, feeling that the zip in your controller and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just, you know, it was exciting, and you know, I was getting pumped up about Nintendo again, and you know, games like ARMS, when it was first shown, you know, it looked intriguing, but once you start hearing that theme music, that felt like the theme for 2017 for me. ARMS, it was just everything felt like a party, you know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It still gets me pumped. Still gets me pumped up now, and I'll always like attribute that song to the first year of the Switch as well. You know, is you know, it's just you know, exciting stuff. But you know, we grumble all the time about all the bad stuff. And, you know, it's still a lot of it is persisting, but it's almost like now we can wash away 2018 for the most part because we just seeing what's coming. And you know, you said, you know, we might never have those moments again like we had with Breath of the Wild, but you know, I got pumped. I mean, you might have heard my reaction for Link's Awakening. You know, like God, I'm hyped for that, and I would have been, you know, as hyped for Metroid Prime 4 as, you know, that could have toppled Zelda for me, and it could still come on a Switch and still do that job, but we know it's a long way off. But yeah, I mean, just overall, you know, grumbles aside, you know, it's doing its job as a games machine for providing us just good games, and that, you know, that's the base, right? That's what you need more than anything else. So it's doing that well. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Give everyone else a chance to have a waffle.
All right, Robert. Like I said, it could be still something from day one or something more recent. You got any memory that stands out about the Switch?
None. No, right? I guess honestly probably is the first day, because and Mario Odyssey. I think those two just haven't been topped yet, other than when and Smash. So I take that back. Smash also. Zelda when that first happened, it just felt insane to finally be playing it, and it was that, and also Mario Odyssey was also like, holy shit, we got both an amazing Zelda and an amazing Mario, both that kind of really bring their series to a new standard. In 1 year was fucking insane, and then Smash being just so fucking nice and the ultimate version of Smash, you know, and it was unbelievable when they announced it and it came out only like 5 months after. It's like, oh my god. And I guess the fact that so early we've at least had these fantastic games. 2018 as a whole, yeah, you know, we've said it throughout the whole time that it wasn't very great. But like, it ended off incredibly strong, and by ending off, we mean like the last month. By ending
weeks of the year.
Yeah, so definitely
Smash reveal was pretty hype last year.
Yeah, and but this year's obviously looking better with the whole Animal Crossing. But yeah, I think for me, definitely Zelda the first day, the day when Mario Odyssey came out, and the day when Smash came out. Those 3 days were like, oh my god, they were so insane for me. And I guess I don't know if you but the ARMS tournament, does that count as Switch technically?
Switch memory for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
pretty damn cool.
of course, that will never leave my memory.
Was it Zerk?
Yeah, maybe I got defeated by it.
Zerk the jerk.
Yeah.
But I still beat a Street Fighter Pro. That's cooler than saying I got defeated by Zerk.
I wonder if there's much of a competitive scene for ARMS anymore. I don't watch.
I mean, I'm sure there's some, but I don't know.
So, Terrell, you got a story, something that pops in your mind?
The first day still sticks out to me because I was so just baffled by the tech and that this shit was like available to buy in stores. The ability to fucking detach controllers and then plug them on your tablet and play these high quality video games. Although Zelda doesn't have the same impact for me as it does for you guys, it was still just baffling to play that game at work on my lunch break, and my coworkers were like, "The fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing Zelda," and you're like, "Oh, you must be talking about one of the handheld games." And they come over and look over, and they're like, "God damn, what is that?" And I'm like, "That's Zelda." I'm like, "There ain't no way that is not low quality." I'm like, "I know, it's fucking crazy." I would say 2018 had a little bit more significance for me personally because I really appreciated handheld mode a lot last year. Like I was playing the majority of my games through handheld mode. Like I was barely docking the bitch, and it wasn't until like maybe until like maybe December I started docking it, and that was only because of Smash Brothers.
I don't even know if I played Smash in handheld mode yet.
Yeah, I played a good chunk of in handheld mode.
I played loads. Yeah,
I probably would say I play Switch more in handheld than I do docked in now. It used to be about like 60-40, where like 60 of it was docked. Now it's like maybe 75-25, where 75 of it is handheld now.
Wow.
I actually completed it in docked. I completed it when I was on holiday. In portable mode. Sorry, not docked. I completed it in portable mode when I was on holiday.
Yeah, like that's if nothing else, 2018 has made me really appreciate handheld mode. And it to me, I'm totally cool with the sacrifices some games had to make for it because fuck it, this game is fun as hell.
I would say for me, 2018 was the year I gave up on handheld mode. Pretty much.
To be fair, you didn't try that much to begin with.
The first year, I took it to work at least 3 times a week, and I bet in 2018 I might have took it to work like 4 times maybe total.
Nerd.
It's just
then again, there wasn't a lot to play. Yo, maybe this year you'll be playing Astral Chain on your.
I doubt he's going.
You'll be playing that. Maybe you'll get addicted to Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing would probably be okay because there's really.
Are you even planning to get that game, Juice?
No.
Okay, I was like,
that's the type of game that would be a handheld.
Like, I cannot wait.
Because Mario plus Rabbids to me is the best game I've played for handheld.
Would you take Mario Maker 2 to work though?
Depends on how. I guess if I want to work on a level, I'm not going to use the touchscreen though because, like I said, my finger's going to be 10 times the size of a block or something I'm trying to place. I won't even be able to see it.
Get smaller hands, goddamn.
I'm still gonna probably use that analog stick control, but for making levels, I might.
You can invite a girl over there to help him make the level. That's all you can do.
Not having a stylus compatible screen, I think, was a mistake.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
Everyone wanted a multi.
Everyone wanted it, and for what reason? What is the?
It's a terrible implementation of whatever that technology is. It's one of the least responsive. When you click on a letter on the keyboard, it's terrible. It just doesn't feel right.
I don't understand what the point of it was. What was the point of going to?
Because Nintendo were back in the times, man. Simple touch.
I don't know, man. I like the touchscreen. It got me on IGN.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's not responsive. The keyboard sucks with it. You gotta type. You can't tap it too quick, but you can't hold on the button. It's just. But anyway, T, why don't you share your memory that popped in your head? From
my best memories is the same as yours. Sadly, I mean it's not sadly because it's like, how do you top Zelda Breath of the Wild? For me on the Switch, it hasn't happened. I've had some really cool experiences. I definitely enjoyed playing a lot of indie games, and I've played a lot of those handheld mode. And I mean the Switch is just perfect for the indie games, and I think that's one of the reasons those games sell so much better on the Switch.
Yeah, I agree.
They just fit so perfectly with this console. So, but I mean, Breath of the Wild, like that's just. I mean, I feel like we're just talking about our first year.
Yeah, because
we're going back to our first year because nothing has been topped. As far as my experience, like that WoW experience. And, sometimes the honeymoon wears off a little bit. Like I loved the Swiss Army. I always call the Switch like the Swiss Army knife of video games. And it hasn't really lived up to that as far as like doing more Wii U type of stuff or more Wii type of stuff. which it's capable of. It's capable of a lot of that stuff, but it hasn't had a lot of games that have pushed that to to the extent that I would like at this point. So a lot of my my initial like excitement was for stuff like that, and it hasn't really happened for the most part. But I definitely love being able to take it anywhere. Obviously, the Wii U had its limitations because you take a certain distance from that that main console, and then it's gone. And you don't have to worry about that obviously with the Switch, and now you could just take it out of the house, and it's super convenient. It's a very convenient console. The way it boots up quickly, the way you can suspend games and come right back to them right where you were. I mean, we take that stuff for granted, but that is so cool to be able to do that. Because I remember this is going back, but like NES, where you didn't have battery saves except for like Zelda. That was the only game that had like a battery save. So everything else was like using what do you call it? What are they called? Passwords and stuff like that. And we used to like leave our Nintendo on all night, because we didn't want to lose a spot because you couldn't get back to that, So that is something that's really convenient. Something that we first kind of experienced with what was it? Did the DS do that, or was it the DS that did that, where you could suspend games and just come back to them, just fold it over, and it's very similar to that. So I just I'm that nothing can beat that Zelda experience though. That wonder, that fear, that I had the same fright walking around when it started to rain, or just hearing that what do you call it? What's the Cyclops thing called? I can't think of the name of it. The Hinox. Yeah, just hearing him snoring in the distance, that kind of stuff, like that hasn't been beaten, and I'm hoping at some point it's at least approached with another game on Switch. But that's a high bar. But
yeah. So let's try to find some positives in 2018. Mine would be it's a game that was available on PC before, but with Hollow Knight kind of reawakening. Like, I thought that the whole Metroid style had been kind of done to the point. I like Ori a lot, and I'm looking forward to the new game this year. But Hollow Knight just like showed me like, and then that this is still a very relevant genre, in 2019 or 2018, and it's a throwback in some regards, but then they didn't pull the Shovel Knight and the Celeste. Well, I'd say Celeste is slightly different, but they didn't try to say, oh, we want to make you not only feel like you're playing a Super NES game, we're gonna make it look like a Super NES game or NES game. No, they took a completely different approach and have this just unique art direction and hand drawn and all that, and it's just like, wow, like I didn't know that a game this good could come from two guys in an indie studio. Like, so that was definitely the highlight, even though it was a 2017 game on PC, maybe even late 2016, I don't remember. Like, that was definitely the standout moment for me on Switch as far as games. And then experiences, I also early in that year I went to Colorado and was playing on the plane and stuff, and had a cool experience in the airport and on the plane playing Mario Odyssey and Zelda. So there was some good stuff, but games wise and stuff, 2018 until Smash was pretty much it was pretty much a waste of a year. So but anybody else can think of something from 2018?
Yeah, obviously I liked Octopath Traveler, which a few people have mentioned. It wasn't perfect. It had its issues, but it took me a goddamn long time to complete that game. Really long fucking time. But it was worth it. But I mean, that was another excitement, right? So everyone asking for Final Fantasy ports and all this stuff. It was just nice to see Square getting back down and dirty again with their old style of games that they've mastered, that they were good at. And the whole HD 2D marketing stuff, worked on me, and I want to see more of it. That got me excited as well. So yeah, Octopath was a damn good game, and we mentioned Smash earlier, and I don't think we should just not completely, not like brush it off, but I mean those character reveals. I mean, King K. Rool for me is possibly my favorite character reveal for Smash ever. Not because of the character himself, it's just how it was all done. It was just hype, and I fucking loved it. And that adds to the excitement of the Switch, because Nintendo are just becoming so good at that. And you plug the Zelda trailer, that last Zelda trailer. I mean, it's just goosebumps every single fucking time. It's just
Oh yeah.
The Mario Odyssey music when we first heard the new singing for Mario Odyssey, let's jump up in the air. We saw all the shows and stuff. All this just adds to it. It's just happiness, pure happiness, man.
Yep. Anybody else got anything from 2018 they can think of?
It was that bad. It's like,
because we can also talk about what we want to see in 2019. We got a bunch of games confirmed, looking like a awesome lineup of games. Maybe we could talk about something we'd like to see Nintendo do with the Switch. Maybe this year, maybe early next year. I know for me that I was playing in tabletop mode. I think it was last week. I didn't bring my dock. I still need to get a second dock just so I can have one downstairs. But I was adjusting the volume while I was sitting in tabletop mode with one hand, and there's no way to do it without knocking the thing over. Like, that kickstand is garbage.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if they didn't do anything like with the hardware as far as changing any of the hardware. If they could just make a better designed system with kickstand that's solid and make sure it doesn't scratch, because mine still rubs on when I dock mine. I don't like the cartridge slot, little cheap cover thing. I don't know. There's got to be a more elegant solution to that. So a few little improvements, and maybe I don't know if I'd buy it or not, but I think they're needed because the thing's so popular, still selling well. I'd like to see them refine it a little bit, make it, because we thought it felt like a very modern piece of tech. Remember thinking that in the day you opened it?
Yeah,
but it's starting to feel, to me, it's feeling a little dated in some regards. So I wouldn't mind them just to tweak a few things there.
I don't know. For me, it still feels pretty. When I look at it, it still looks pretty high tech compared to other things.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I would agree. I agree with Robert on that one. I haven't had that issue.
I don't know if you had a brand new iPad or something. You're gonna look at the Switch and be like, yeah, that looks.
What the fuck's an iPad? You mean a tablet, right? All this Apple trash.
A good one like an iPad. Go ahead.
So just stuff that's for me, something. Obviously, there'd be some messaging system would go a long way. But anything else popping in something you'd like to see them do with? Maybe it's an accessory, or maybe it's software. Maybe
more comfortable Joy-Cons, please.
I think what they should do, honestly, because of Mario Maker, I would totally buy a separate something to draw on it, so I don't have to use the analog stick. I would generally buy that.
Oh, you mean a tablet?
Yeah,
there's got to be unless they didn't design the screen to work. There's got to be some kind of stylus that they could put out that
you
could
would
work.
think. I mean, I don't see why there wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've seen styluses for what do you call it, for other like tablets and whatnot, but they're pretty cumbersome. They're kind of the point of it is kind of thick. It's kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's not going to have that same precision like that you used to get on 2DS or in 3DS and DS and Wii U. You're not going to get that kind of precision. But I mean, technically, you can have a stylus for it, but it's not going to be that same kind of setup. I guess I'm most disappointed in the fact that like people's modding of not only just the software side of it, where they've added backgrounds and cool stuff like that, folders and all kinds of things. I mean, the mod scene on Switch is ridiculous, but also hardware wise, like I used to really want them to do some cool, like particular hardware where it was stylized after the NES or GameCube controller looking Joy Cons, all that kind of stuff. And it's like I don't even care about that anymore because you can DIY or buy some stuff on your own that does all that stuff at this point. And I think Nintendo kind of dropped the ball with leading and putting some of that stuff out. Now, obviously, they have certain controllers and whatnot, certain Joy-Cons like the Pikachu Let's Go Eevee one, and I think the Smash one is just kind of weak as hell. It's just like the Smash logo line going through. I thought that was so cheaply done. And so I look at what other people are doing and I look at what Nintendo's doing. I was like, well, I don't really care because I can either do it myself, buy the molds, buy the buy the attachments and do it myself, or have somebody, or just buy it. So that I guess that's my biggest disappointment. I wish they would do more. It's something that maybe modders can't do on that side. But software wise, they I don't want to mod my at least my main Switch. I'm sure at some point I'll get a different one that I'll mess around with more, but software wise, I would like to see them implement the things that those guys are doing, like folders and music and whatnot in the background and different customized backgrounds, all that kind of stuff.
There's really no excuse for not having that stuff.
Yeah,
at least themes. It's literally on there. There's a themes option. How is there
themes?
No themes? Or honestly, I take that back with the style. It's kind of a nitpick, but actually, virtual console. I want some virtual console.
Well, virtual console's not happening. Right?
I know.
If
it could happen, I would like it. You know what I mean? That would be pretty cool. Because
you're getting a virtual console with, compilation carts and whatever Nintendo's putting on.
Because I would like to do. Again, like honestly, the main thing is GameCube games. I know they won't, but it's just like in order to play a GameCube game, I have to either play the GameCube or go to the Wii, which actually I guess I have to just do the GameCube. But it's just like it would be just nice if it was on there,
Yeah,
because we have a game.
It would be great.
Yeah, you have the controller, which for anyone that doesn't know, the analog triggers on the GameCube controller work with Trials Rising, and I'm guessing it's going to work with the Grid Motorsports game.
I hope so.
Do they? That's cool.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they had to they had to program it to make certain buttons because you obviously can't screenshot or anything, but you can. I think you have to hit the minus button to replay a track, and they assigned it to Z or something. So they actually thought about it and programmed it. So
that's cool.
I'd like to see, like Terrell mentioned, more comfortable Joy-Con. Put some ergonomics into that. Like it's outside of the dock, so just make an ergonomic Joy-Con. If I'm gonna buy another set of Joy-Cons, it would be that. Like I'm not just gonna buy another set of the flat ones. Like just I don't know. It's just missed opportunity for maybe it's research and development. It's going to cost them money, and there's no guarantee it's going to sell well. But it just seems like a lot of people would be on board, especially the people that play it portable a lot. So because if you're buying those grips, you're spending, $15, $20, whatever it is for that full system grip, but you have to take it off every time you want to dock it, and it's
pain in the ass.
I think they would sell, like Joy-Con Pros or something like that. That were tidied up, that were much more durable. Much more comfortable and stuff. I'd definitely buy them.
Maybe give them the same analog stick from the controller. I mean, just make an Elite Joy-Con or something. That's another
a left D-pad. Why are you leaving this up to other companies? Why does Nintendo have a D-pad for the left Joy-Con for people who do portable a lot? Like I don't understand.
Who don't care about handing a Joy-Con to somebody else. At one time, and it's a terrible way to play a game. especially like Mario Kart, we got to hit those little tiny buttons.
That's awful.
Items and drifting and shit. Like
I would never play Mario Kart with one.
Even be at this point. That was that.
I do all the time with my kids.
Well, I mean that's fine, I guess, when you're playing with your kids and you're not overly competitive, but
even just holding that little tiny A button, man, it digs into my thumb like crazy. That little.
I don't know. I play everything with just Joy-Cons. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, because like I said, when you don't know what you're missing, it's ignorance is bliss.
Well, Smash I play with the GameCube, but everything else I play with the Joy-Cons because I don't even have a Pro Controller.
And Clocked It has a reason to get a Pro Controller. A good reason finally. I don't know if you want to share that.
I was waiting for Metroid Prime 4 because I was hoping there'd be like a special sexual Pro Controller with that, but that's not happening now. But I'm gonna get one anyway because my Joy-Cons are just.
There's the other reason too. The boss okayed it or kind of insisted.
And
the boss.
Yeah, the wife said these Joy-Cons are knackered, they're busted. Why aren't they working? And literally every single one of our Joy-Cons, either the left sticks are buggered, you've tried cleaning them. Don't ever, if anyone got Joy-Cons, don't ever take those little plastic caps off the analog sticks, right? Because you'll never be able to get them back on properly again. Just don't fucking do it.
I took mine off.
And you got them back on perfectly?
Yeah.
It
takes some finagling, but you can get it.
I tried for hours and I couldn't get that.
Yeah, I can't do it. Now it's all bubbly and shit. And
it's bubbly, yeah.
And
sipping on that bubbly.
Yeah, some of our buttons aren't working. Like some of my left shoulder button, right shoulder buttons. You got to press them hard now. It just
really.
What are you doing with you guys?
To be fair, you have young kids.
Against the wall and shit. The fuck going on?
I don't have them playing No, I'm saying I don't have them playing my shit. I play my own Joy-Cons. So
it's like I got young kids, and we all for the most part respect the Switch, and
what about that 10% when you don't though?
Yeah, I know, but even over 2 years, my fucking god! I mean, I've had, some of the controllers I've had for 30 years. If I'm looking.
Yeah, my Super NES controllers, other than the little crack on the L and R buttons.
And I would have eaten those back then as well in anger if I'm playing like Contra or something like that. I would have been launching those controllers and they're still working. It's just.
So I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I know I've said it, but I've been debating for months and I just keep deciding not to do it, to do a Juice Opinions on why I think the Joy-Cons are easily the worst controller Nintendo's ever put out.
Yeah.
And they're right up there with some of the. It's just overall. They function. I don't get enough use for them to not work, but just the design of them, the shape of them, the lack of ergonomics. I honestly feel it's not even close. Like the NES is the closest thing as far as ergonomics or lack thereof. But I even think NES is more comfortable because you don't have to reach your thumb way down to hit buttons and shit. So I would like to see them do a revision on that. I don't know if they would, but that would be something that could get me to say, I could spend $80 on those and it would get me to play portable mode more. So that would definitely be welcome for me. But
it's supposed to be a celebration.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
So first year great, second year lacking, third year's looking to be almost equal to 2017, potentially passing it depending on anything else that comes out. It's looking bright. I've been a little hard. 2018 I've been hard on the Switch. Been a lot hard on the Switch, but that's what happens with a lack of new releases. New quality will do to a person, and it when you get new quality games, good experiences, all that other stuff kind of fades into the background. The complaints, even as much as we complain about Nintendo Switch Online, when we get into a Smash arena and we're actually playing, we have an absolute blast and forget about all that nonsense about. It's not nonsense, but we forget about the lack of a messaging system and invites and stuff. Because once you're in there, it's fine and you're having fun and connection's pretty solid overall. But there's definitely when you when you're not playing and you don't have games to play and you're thinking about this stuff, it's almost like like what's that? When you got like a mob, like one person is smart, but when you got a mob of people, then they can get dumb and do things they like. That's kind of how it felt with the Switch in 2018 for me, with some of the bad decisions they were making. And then we get in here and we start ragging on them, and it was kind of contagious. Because when I'm sitting here at home playing my Switch, I don't think about a lot of that stuff. So, but anyway, happy birthday, Switch!
Happy birthday, bitch!
And let's do quick final thoughts, and we'll be out of here. So, clocked it. It's going to be a decent hour for you. So, Terrell, why don't you take it away? Final thoughts. Let's go.
Still playing Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. That's a good game. I'm enjoying it. Probably gonna wait a little while before I get Dead or Alive 6 because fuck you, Koei Tecmo and your DLC. Jesus Christ. For those who don't know, it's like $100 of DLC that's out for the game right now, but it's not in the game. So that is a hard get your shit together before I bother with that foolishness. Pokemon looks good, despite what people say. It looked good. I'm glad that they're still trying to be at least innovative with the locations and the layout for regions and whatnot. Had to wait and see how much has really changed, but it did a pretty decent first impression for me. I'm pretty stoked, if nothing else, for the region, and I'm curious to see what the new Pokemon are. Also, as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, I'm feeling kind of rough right now. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Last game, put it when, please, God, Sega, make the right decision and walk the fuck away from this movie.
That looks like a cartoon representation of what the movie Sonic's
to
gonna look
be
like.
fair, it's not as bad as what people thought it was gonna be, but it's still not great by any means.
I think
it's
it
a little
looks
off-putting.
Good as it good, but anyway, Robert.
I thought you were joking when you said that.
No, I think it looks great. But Robert, final thought.
Weird,
so I actually beat another game, yo. Metro Exodus. Isn't that crazy, yo?
Yeah.
It should be commonplace, honestly.
He won't play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but he'll beat random Metro
games that come out 2 years after it.
I also did. I had a save file at like 80 power stars for Galaxy, and I beat that also again. And so I played that, got 120 stars on that again. Amazing game. And I also played some Zelda. Played a little bit of Zelda.
I played that yesterday. I forgot that it was.
Yeah, I played a little bit of that yesterday, and also some Smash yesterday. So I had a good overall. Look at that. A good overall gaming.
Nice.
And now I'm kind of debating on what I want to play. I kind of want to go back into Odyssey, but I kind of feel like I should play Xenoblade.
Just play it. Eat it.
Yeah.
Xenoblade, man.
You got a month before Yoshi. Just play a game you haven't experienced. There's some really funny dialogue and characters. You'll like it.
Yeah. Probably we'll see. And
he ain't playing that shit.
Red Dead, one of the
two. And also, this Friday, a new song comes out from me, so you should check that out.
Trevor was
blood.
Yeah, him.
My alter ego.
Check it out, yo. It's gonna be nice. And yo, have a good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs sit on you. Throw them away. Okay.
All right, Mr. T, go ahead. T.
Great podcast, fellas. That Poke Talk got a little contentious, but yeah,
his hands, Joe.
Game Freak does need to do some things that I wasn't expecting them to do. Well, they need to do some things for sure. They don't have the Game Boy. They can't hide behind the Game Boy and the DS graphics cards or whatever anymore. So you got to get up and step the game up. You got the money. You got the means and ability to do so. So, but yeah, Okay, it's not even a quarter. It's a quarter till. This is good stuff. Great podcast. Yeah, I play some games, have some fun.
Don't let them bed bugs sit on you.
And that sounds like some pimp shit. Let the bed bug sit on you. That's some old pimp
Jesus
shit.
Bugaboo.
Don't get too sad when you don't get too sad when your Joy-Cons are failing like mine are, and you can't get them bitches to sync or anything, even when you slide them down into the console.
That happened to me in the first when it first got the system. That constantly happened.
Yeah, it's happening a lot right now. It's driving me up the goddamn wall. But anyway, enjoy your switches, bitches. Peace.
All right, clocked it.
Oh my god. Yeah, good podcast. First 2 years of the Switch has been it's been pretty amazing, to be fair. Let's be honest. I see that Sonic picture though, and I think, oh my god, what's gonna happen with Mario? With Illumination Studios, we don't know yet. We honestly don't know, and we might look back.
With what they did with the Grinch in 3D, I think Mario's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
They're not putting him in a live action movie, so.
Okay, I believe you.
I don't know, but like his model's gonna look nice.
Yeah, the movie might suck, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a video maybe tomorrow, all about the Wii U, because I need to talk about it, because I wasn't here in the Wii U generation, but I'm here after it, and I need to talk about it. But yeah, I'd love a little surprise from Nintendo this year, another one. I know I'm being greedy, but I would very much like a Pikmin 4 before they pull Pikmin 3. I don't want Pikmin 3 as much as I love it. I want number 4. And I also, from Sega, seems around Sega as well, I want those Panzer Dragoon remakes to come to the Switch as well, no matter how they look. And game-wise, I'm playing Nier Automata. Like I said, I seem to be blowing through that game. I think I've nearly completed it. I seem to be doing really well. And the soundtrack to that game is just, I fucking love it. Absolutely love it. I need to find the CD. It's really good. And then I need to start doing my top 5 videos, because one of them will be the top 5 most badass walking animations in games. And she's gonna be in one of them. So yeah. I'll get around to that, but yeah,
awesome.
If you're not subscribed to me yet, subscribe to Clocked It. I chat shit. I hate most of the time, because I love hating. I don't know why, but it's constructive hate. My one of my last videos, got some quality feedback, which I enjoyed. But yeah, as always, cheers all. Enjoy the podcast. Love you, Nintendo Switch, with all your faults. I love you, and love you, Nintendo, and peace.
All right. I just want to say, good 2 years as a Wii U owner. That first 2 years had some ups and downs, and it feels like reverse of the Switch. The Wii U's second year was pretty solid. Switch's first year was really solid. Second year was kind of a little iffy for me. So I think, but year 3 is where it's really going to stand apart. It's funny how we talked 2 years of the Switch and all this, and not one person brought up the sales of the console. It's crazy.
Because we're gamers and we don't care about that shit.
But I'm not really joking. It didn't even cross my mind. I don't
think about it all.
I want to thank Game Freak for doing that 2-step, 1 step forward, 3 steps back. So now I don't have to buy a Pokemon game as of right now, and shame on them for letting the Detective Pikachu trailer come out first, and then Sword and Shield, because when you see that awesome furry Pikachu and that super amazing CGI, and then you see that
you getting some Nightmare Fury on some of those
anime
Pokemon.
Even the GameCube had fur. Star Fox had fur. Donkey Kong had fur.
I mean, how much better?
I don't necessarily care for fur for some of these Pokemon.
Pikachu looks like phenomenal, and then you got this 2D flat cell shaded anime.
The fuck?
Fucking Pikachu and Sword and Shield looks terrible. So, but anyway, thank Game Freak for
he is our resident graphic source, so don't pay him
for not taking that next step. and now I don't have to buy this Pokemon game. But yeah, anyway, good podcast, and we'll this year we got a lot of games on Switch, so I think we're gonna be overall it's gonna be a way more positive podcast when it comes to Switch, starting with March 29th with Yoshi. And again, I've been meaning to talk about the demos of Yoshi and David Ex Machina.
He didn't want to talk about it.
Not getting to it, so
maybe next week.
We'll just wait till the game's up. Anyway, that's it for this podcast. Look forward to next week. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to start them earlier and end them earlier. And so have a good night, and we'll